don't have a whole lot of history for. Oh, jeez, you scared the heck out of me. Very funny. Hey guys, welcome back. This is going to be my final film review for today. Originally, I was slated to review this in a couple of weeks, but since I just recently watched the movie two nights ago, I decided, well, it's still fresh in my mind, I'm going to review it now. So, I'm reviewing the 1982 Steven Spielberg movie, E.T The Extra-Terrestrial. It starred Dee Wallace, Henry Thomas, Peter Coyote, Robert McNaughton, and Drew Barrymore, and the voice of E.T. was done by Pat Welsh. So E.T., I think everybody in the world, or at least anybody who was born during a certain time, knows the basic story of E.T. This survey group of aliens lands on Earth to grab samples, and one of them accidentally gets left behind and befriends a boy and his two siblings, older brother and younger sister. When I watched this film a couple of nights ago, I was not expecting it to affect me as strongly as it did. I blame Steven Spielberg's amazing direction and John Williams' amazing music, which I will touch on later. But this thing legitimately made me cry several times, and I just don't mean sniffles. I mean legitimate, like your eyes get red and they start to swell because you're blinking so much and your nose is running. That kind of crying with E.T. I didn't even grow up watching it. But maybe it's the fact that I just recently hit my 30s and the fact that I love kids so much. Maybe I'm just getting more emotional as I get older. What I loved most about E.T. The Extra-Terrestrial was hands down the music. John Williams' musical score for E.T. is one of the most beautiful musical scores I've ever heard in my life. The musical editing is perfect. One part that I was not expecting it to affect me because I knew it was coming, even though I haven't seen the film in something like 15 years. When Elliot's riding his bike and he's dressed as the hunchback, and he rides straight off a cliff, my heart stopped for half a second, and just then he starts rising, the music swells, and I'm like, ah! It was like being transported back to when I was like an 8 or 9-year-old. It was just magic. That and the amazing cinematography. Steven Spielberg knew how to pick them. If he doesn't now, then he definitely did back then. This may be one of his absolute best pieces of work. I know he didn't use the camera, but it was absolutely gorgeous. The setting was great up in those pine trees, and it was perfect. It was just plain perfect. That being said, the thing that I disliked most about E.T. was kids using swear words. When kids say swear words, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I'm sorry, I'm old-fashioned, I know that, but that's just how I feel about it. On to the family friendliness. Other than that, yes, it's very family friendly. There are some scary moments in there. There's quite a bit of screaming in this, so don't watch it with headphones and the volume turned up because you may lose your hearing. There's quite a bit of screaming in it. As for the actual scoring of E.T., the story is very good, above average, but not, groundbreaking or anything like that. There were a couple of films about, aliens making friends with people. It was just the way that Spielberg approached it that was unique. But the story itself was not 100% unique, so that one gets an 8 out of 10. The acting, it was surprisingly good. All those children as actors, especially Henry Thomas and Drew Barrymore, those kids knocked it out of the park. It was excellent. I mean, crying on cue is not easy to do, even for a small child. So, yeah, those kids were excellent actors. Everyone in there was a very good actor. I actually think the kids did way better than the adults. So I will give the acting for E.T. a 9 out of 10. The script, I'm only lowering the score from 8 out of 10 to 7 out of 10 because of the swearing kids, but I know. It might be more realistic, but I'm not going for realism. I'm going for family friendliness because this is supposed to be like a family movie. Okay. that one gets a 7 out of 10. Humor, it was pretty funny. There were definitely some laugh out loud moments, some good gags. Spielberg's good at doing sight gags and pairing one-liners with sight gags, so I give that an 8 out of 10. Music, I cannot say enough about it. It's John Williams. It may be one of his most beautiful scores, if not one of the most beautiful main themes for anything I've ever heard in my life. It's definitely in the top 5. And I have heard a lot of movie scores that I really like. Straight into the feelings, and it stays there, twists it around a little bit, and then just lifts you up until you feel like you're flying. So the music gets a 10 out of 10. Cinematography, like I said, is absolutely gorgeous. The shots, it's just beautiful. It fits perfectly. It fits the story perfectly. The lighting is excellent. Like the silhouette and the famous shot of Elliot riding across the moon, and the angles are perfect, and it's great. I mean, it's simple, but it's perfect.